Hello, everybody. I'm George. I will be the moderator of this panel. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you, Mike and the team, for this beautiful event and for the enthusiasm and the energy behind it. The topic is how to empower brilliance with blockchain. My friend here, Cyril Trondel, is just came last night from Crypto Valley, Bulgaria. So I'll start with him, asking how do you see this joining of words, empowering brilliance and blockchain?
Well, I think mostly what you need to do when you want to empower people is first to educate them on how a system works, so they can leverage it and make something great out of it. So we in Switzerland focus mainly on firstly getting on the same page with people, because when you talk about blockchain, there's a lot of different conceptions about how it works and what the possibilities are, what the dangers are around it. And then there are some corporate guys, which I don't want to name names, who think that blockchain can be also just a distributed database within their 4 friends that they have or 4 partners in their environment, and then they just gonna call it a blockchain project. I'm very much against that statement, because I think blockchain only results from the fact that you are actually using a different distributed ledger and not knowing who's your counterparty. You only know that the consensus is there in the network. So yeah, in Switzerland we focus on education, then we go over to digitalization, and thirdly we go to empowerment, where we actually try to empower the people with the tools that we give them, and fourth, and not last but not least, is global access, because once you are brilliant and you want to show off your brilliance, you also need like the whole world to know about it, otherwise there's no point in doing it.
Okay, yeah. Great. You just said about globalization, like the last part. I will ask a little bit, Valentin here, the CEO from CryptoCoin Pro. I know you just launched a couple of weeks ago the selling platform. How do you feel the market regarding the cryptocurrencies and the blockchain as a technology? Do they see the difference between them, the connection? And
here in Romania, for the moment, I'm very surprised to see that a lot of people are here, Romanian people, but for the blockchain technology, the Romanians are focusing on the Bitcoin. They don't know, they don't understand the blockchain technology yet, but I'm hopeful that they will understand. But for the moment, they really know about the Bitcoin.
Bitcoin as a currency, not
yes, as a currency, not as a blockchain. I think they don't even know about the blockchain for the moment. But I'm hopeful they will learn and they will adapt, like every industry, like every country. And for the moment, they are focusing on revenue, on making money, not on blockchain technology and developing it so they could profit not only financially, but as human.
Okay. So basically, there is a lack of education regarding the blockchain as technology.
I think it's a lack of education worldwide regarding blockchain.
Absolutely.
But in Romania, as I don't want to consider Romania as a third country, but here in Romania we have very smart people in IT, especially, and I want to say that they rise the blockchain technology. The Romanian IT people, they are all over the world. They're participating in many projects, many blockchain projects, and they add value. But they do this for the moment in foreign countries, not here. But I'm glad to see that this is the second event of d10e here in Romania. And maybe at the third, there are going to be a lot more people, a lot more Romanian IT, and a lot more brilliant Romanian people in this blockchain technology.
Okay. George, what do you think is missing in all this infrastructure?
Thank you very much for the invitation. There are lots of things that are missing in this moment. First of all, I'm the executive director of the Romanian Association for Electronic Payments, so representing the banks, the card schemes, processors, some IT companies, and maybe some of you are wondering what am I doing here talking about innovation and the bright future we have to face. My role here today is to tell you and to help you understand that the whole industry is ready to embrace the technology and to make the step forward. The question is, how can we address together some of the biggest issues we have? And first of all would be the awareness. We have lots of people in Romania which are very familiar with the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies, but we don't have so many people who know how we can go from the speculative area to the confidence area, because this will be a very costly approach, and building the awareness in Romania will give a chance for the blockchain technology. I was asked earlier by some of the participants how normal people will be able to understand and to manage technology. And I can tell you that many of us do not understand the money that exists today, how the money is working. So I don't think the people should understand blockchain technology and to know how it works. What we need projects, big projects, small projects, it doesn't matter. We need many projects with added value for the people in order to give them the trust. Blockchain technology should be a brand people trust. At that moment, people will use and accept blockchain technology and will be able to step in the future. I think everybody in this room, it doesn't matter, I speak about the traditional industries or the industries that are being formed. We all know that this is the future. There is no question about this. The question is how we can go together on this way and how we can build the future to bring benefits for everybody. So this is a challenge we have. We need a blockchain community in Romania. We have to keep together. We have to enforce the media, the digital space with messages, with correct messages. We have to balance our speech, because if we continue to tell that the blockchain will destroy the traditional industries and all these industries are lost, and this kind of debate, this kind of speech will make many of the existing guys become radical. So we have to be very careful how we discuss and to be open to address all the issues along the way together, to contribute with projects, with resources in the right manner in 5 or 10 years, to be able to say that we managed to go blockchain and take all the benefits. So this is the two things I think we have to focus on, and we have to go together on this way.
Yes, I totally agree with that. Thank you. I will come to Serge. He's actively involved in multiple projects, and he, exactly like me, already feels the lack of specialists in the industry. We've seen earlier this morning that there's already a blockchain academy in United States. What do you think we should do to empower the brilliance for the blockchain, now not with the blockchain? How can we help the industry to attract more specialists and educated people?
From my perspective, the education is the most important thing. I have a history of about 5 years, more or less, with the cryptocurrencies. In the past 2 years, I've worked in several blockchain-related projects, and for us, for the people which heard about this project and who worked on those projects in the past several years, the opportunities are clear. But if we want mass adoption for this type of technology, and I'm not referring especially to the cryptos, to the cryptocurrencies, but to blockchain, we need to educate, and we need to educate by explaining and by analyzing this phenomenon not from only one perspective, meaning only from the cryptocurrency perspective and from the speculative revenues perspective, but also from the from the framework perspective, so from the benefits which comes from the smart contracts which can be implemented and all those projects, all those ICOs which are coming now, and also the analysis need to be done from as a investment instrument. So cryptocurrency, investment instrument, and in the same time frameworks on which we can develop amazing projects. Why I think we need to educate the people and we need to discuss about all those points, because there are many news in this direction. How do you think it's a bubble here and things like this? For sure, many of us, we know it's a bubble. But when we talk about the bubble, we think to what? We think to Bitcoin, we think to the technology behind, to blockchain, or we think to some, I don't know, ICOs which are trying only to get some money from some investors. So I think every time when someone is mentioning blockchain or Bitcoin should take into consideration at least those three perspectives in order to create clear expectation to the audience listening them. Otherwise, the way George mentioned a little bit earlier, would be some people which will be super evangelists and will say, hey guys, we see so many opportunities in so many fields and things like this. And on the other side will be some people telling, oh, no, if you implement blockchain technology, this will kill our actual way of doing business. I think it's a very good comparison between what blockchain technology, so the technology behind the cryptos, is doing right now to the financial sector, from my perspective. It's exactly what the internet did to the
media,
to the postal services. So, you know, first time, so the internet created the email, and when we need email, we don't need postal services anymore, which is 100% wrong. Once the internet coming and so many projects that we cannot even think now to the opportunities the technology is creating. So on the internet, they created orders on postal services thousands of times bigger than before the internet. I think that the blockchain technology will create for financial institutions also huge opportunities. And I think it's our role to the early adopters of this technology to educate and to explain all the benefits and to help maybe some of them to find the position in relation with those technologies and their position in this new ecosystem which is creating and which will change basically everything we know until now for any type of industry, energy, health, anything, yes? IT, financial, legal services, everything will be changed because of this blockchain technology, but we need to understand that this will help the industry to grow even bigger, and this will not kill the actual industry. This is my opinion about blockchain, and also cryptocurrencies are a big part of it, especially the biggest ones, which were built with a good intent.
Regarding the empowerment, Cyril, I know that in Switzerland, especially Zug, is called the Crypto Valley. How is all the actual context felt from the investors and all the ICOs, the new projects, the startups?
Well, it may not be the best thing that we have a lot of ICOs in Switzerland and incorporated there. It's not all good because some of them, they don't really add value. They just see a blockchain as a good buzzword to use to create some kind of interest from the public to invest in them. But on the other side, it also creates a lot of interest from global brilliant people that are just streamlining into Switzerland. I mean, I've never seen so many foreigners coming on weekly tours. In Zug, there's crazy things. There's some tours that actually just visit all the blockchain corporations, and they have like a little flag and they walk from office to office because it's a very small place, Zug. And they just walk in and ask, can we invest and can we copy that maybe in Asia, can we copy that in the US, or how can we learn from you? And from every event I ever attended in Zug, it's just massive how many different cultures there are and how many different backgrounds of people there are. And they're all coming together to a small town in Switzerland, which is already a small country, just to talk about it and talk about changing the world, not just talk about creating a product for Zug or Zurich. There's simply everybody there thinks they can change the world. And getting all those brilliant people together, it's usually not the first project that worked for them, but they get to know other people when they actually develop projects that could change the world. And this is exactly what we meant with empowering the brilliance of people, because a lot of people don't even know that they could add a lot of value to the blockchain with their backgrounds. It's more about getting them to see that blockchain should not be something that you need to learn like in the IT way, you know. You can simply understand the schematics and apply it to your business model. And from each background, there needs to be a different person who understands the schematics and how it could change whatever they do. I mean, trade finance, legal, art, trade, financial instruments. There's so many possibilities. And I think this is what makes it quite unique right now in Switzerland, that we just have so many people coming in. And at the end of the day, it's just the amount of brilliant people that you have in a country that actually make your economy. It's not the project itself, it's just attracting those people. And this just amazes me every time I go back to Zug or Zurich, because Crypto Valley, it extends more than to Zug.
So you're a little lucky because you're really attracting brilliant people there.
I hope so, yeah. I assume that we do because I talk to a lot of them. We don't know for sure until they release the first products, but there's going to be some exciting stuff happening out of Switzerland in February.
Great. So I just want to say also a couple of words regarding the blockchain as technology and launch a little signal, especially for the entrepreneurs that are actually building now blockchain-based startups or companies. Like Joanna said, be very careful when you choose to move your current business model on the blockchain. If you want to move on a blockchain only for raising the money, it's not that easy as it may seem from the outside. And also for the people that are already in advanced phases of development, I think that we as adopters of this technology, we should be very responsible with everything that we're doing, the way we are raising the money, what we are doing with the money, and how we are treating the investors. This should be a very, very, very sensitive point to be addressed in the future. Because now it's a little easy to raise money even for projects that don't add that much value, but things will change. The market will become more educated, and we really need to start adding real value for the new adopters, for already existing adopters, and for industries and technology in itself. So
I would like to add something, George, to what you've just mentioned. So if we really want mass adoption for this type of technologies, this means that some people will use the blockchain technology without knowing they are using this technology, and this will happen most of the time in the following years. But we don't need only the hype, the existing hype right now. We don't need only the technology, but we also need the legislation. The legislation, a basic legislation in this direction need to be settled in order for companies from Romania, for example, to not need to move to other countries to register companies, because in Romania, in order to issue an ICO, for example, because in Romania, there is not a clear direction from a legal perspective. So if we really want mass adoption, we need to understand the needs of the Romanian society also, and to try to convince all the institutions here that is needed to explain which are the benefits, By the way, the first speaker today had a very good point from my perspective in this direction, and we need to work together in this direction to help with the regulation, with the fixing the legislation in this direction. Otherwise, implementing this type of products in Romania will be done only as outsourcing services to Romania and not something else. We'll not be able to apply the technology here and will not be able to take advantages. And when I mention we, I mean about all population from Romania. I mean, there are so many processes which can be simplified and optimized with blockchain in absolutely any direction and any industry. What we need, it's legislation to allow us to do this in a clear way, to know exactly which are the directions we need to follow. So this, I think, it's a very, very, very important thing we all need to work on. And we require a lot of efforts in this.
What Sergio wants to say is that we need some rules. When you start a building, you need some rules in order to make sure that what you are going to do is what you intended to do. We have to be all aware of the fact that what we have in Romania right now, we have some evangelists, some people which are brave in their approach in embracing cryptocurrencies. We have the traditional industries, but we have a big gap in between. Because, and in this gap, I think we should put the constructors, the builders, the persons, the people able to build this industry, to build the awareness, to provide, to implement projects. And the fourth player in the game is are the Romanian authorities. Don't forget the fact that the biggest amount of data in this country, data, I'm not talking about data in terms of Facebook, WhatsApp, and so on. I'm talking about data with legal effects. Your name, your CNP, email address, data about our insurance policy, and so on. Most of this data is depending of the Romanian state authority. If the Romanian state will not be able to build a framework in which we, all the others, the industry will be able to implement projects, we will have a big issue. We have the same issue with the digitalization, with the way how we digitize the country. Romanian state, Romanian authorities did nothing in order to help the digital space. Everything we have today are pieces of projects which are not connected, they don't work together, and this is why we are where we are. So we need Romanian authorities to understand from us, from you, from everyone else in this room or outside this room, the need, first of all, to understand the concept, then to understand the fact that the industry must be helped to evolve in a good way, then to be present and to give credibility to this industry, and why not to embrace it for lots of other issues that they have. It can be, I think blockchain can be used in almost all critical industries, and I'm sure I'm not making any mistake. So we have to be present there, and we have the traditional industries. We already have these tools. We already have these instruments. We already work with the government, with the parliament, with ANAF, with everybody else, and we know how we can talk to them, how we can approach them, so that in maybe not 6 months, maybe 1 year, 2 years, to help them to become aware and to give a chance to the industry. So I would recommend, I would encourage everyone in this room to work together. It was somebody in the meeting before on this stage was saying that let's work together. Talk about the technology with everyone, with your friends, with your colleagues, with your partners, with everyone, and put a piece of awareness exactly how much you can do. It's not important if it is small or big, or it doesn't matter. Just talk to the other, help them understand, give them a book, give them a page on the internet to understand what it's about, and let's build together the future. We all know that this will be the future, but let's find a way how we can go from where we are to the future we believe in. Yeah.
Thank you, George.
I just want to add something here. I think we should really take this critical moment in history right now where we all talk about the same base system. I mean, usually you talk about different providers of a system that need to be somehow connected in the end. But if we're talking about blockchain, it can be adapted by every country, and it can be adapted just on different apps that you build or dApps that you build upon the blockchain. So on the base layer, we're simply, for the first time in a long history, we're talking the same language, and we're talking about the same, basically the baselines of how we do business and how we exchange data and how we generate trust with each other. And I think we should really embrace this, and also from a governmental point of view to really make sure that they know what kind of critical event this is. Because if we're going to start changing too much now, we're not going to have the same momentum again to move forward on a unified base. And I think this is highly critical right now. It's not going to be able, if you talk about it in 2 years, it's probably too late. I think the projects need to start now, and I think the discussions need to start now, not just within the borders of your country, but across borders, just like the blockchain is.
Yeah, exactly. We have only 4 minutes, so I think we should let some questions, if there are from the public.
How do you talk to idiots?
Exactly the same way we did it before. No.
In our platform on CryptoCoin.pro, we had on support a lot of questions. We need to treat people like they're new in this domain. They just ask, from our point of view, stupid question, but the domain is new for them. And I'm not talking about blockchain question. I'm talking about cryptocurrency questions. So we need to treat them like they are new in this world. They're like a child in school, in primary school. So we need to teach them, and in this way we create awareness, not only on cryptocurrency but on the blockchain technology.
I think the good thing right now is we cannot simply talk about it, we can show them.
Exactly.
The first time that anybody makes a transaction on Ethereum, you can show them to Etherscan and they will ultimately see what just happened.
It's not about how we talk with the idiots. It's all about what project we will show them. So let's show them the project, and after that, we will tell them that actually it's about blockchain. I think
Or they need to have an interest.
To implement, to make a project, you don't have to talk to idiots. It's just a matter of desire. If you want to do it, you do it. You put the resources, you make the project, and then you show it to the others.
A very good thing right now is that cryptocurrencies are in the media. So we already have a platform. People just think of it as a speculative instrument right now, but everybody knows that there is a Bitcoin that exists and that there is a sublayer that is called blockchain. We just need to spin the conversations from speculative instruments to actual technical details.
We have a question down the front here.
Right, so this is more of a question for you, since you come from Swiss, where cryptocurrencies are actually legal. What would you say is the first thing that we can do right here in Romania to get cryptocurrencies a legal basis so that ICOs can be made here?
So to make it legal, you have to talk to the stakeholders that actually make the rules, right? So in Switzerland, there was one law firm in particular who took the charge and said, okay, we're going to make these advances on our own for now, and basically be the first in the door. What resulted in them pushing the envelope on basically on the government side, on a political side, they resulted into having 150 ICOs in the pipeline, and they grew their business by about 1,500% within 1.5 years. So it's not always wrong to be the first mover, but it needs to be somebody who already did this before. It usually is not just the one guy who thinks cryptocurrencies are cool, but it's the guys that actually did legislation before and want to take the lead in the next legislation for the country. And this is how in Switzerland it worked, and it paid off quite well for those people.
So would you say there was something like a critical moment in the development of them trying to push the legislation to the state?
Yes, when Vitalik Buterin came to Switzerland and somebody actually listened to him and advised him on how to set up the foundation, I think this was a very critical moment for Switzerland as a country and cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, I think also many times talking about the blockchain and Bitcoin, we're talking about the gold rush. Yeah, everyone in all news, hey, it's a gold rush. You see, the gold rush, the speculative gold rush is something that we all see. What only a part of us are seeing is the gold rush of European governments to implement legislation in this direction. Take, for example, Gibraltar, France, I hear today, Lithuania, okay, Estonia,
Yes.
and Liechtenstein also, I know in Europe, has a very good legislation in this direction. Luxembourg also, which is the first country in Europe, licensing trading company, which is Bitstamp, yes? So those guys understood the benefits for those specific states, the benefits that blockchain technology is bringing, and they've changed the legislation into this direction. In Romania, we have the ideas, we have the investors many times, from Romania or from abroad. We have the technical specialists, and we cannot register here the intellectual property because the legislation is missing. So you've seen the IT industry, Romania growth in the past 10 years, I don't know, 10 times or something like this, to 10% or the 10.5% from GDP, something like this. It's a huge growth. Nobody forecasted it. Blockchain technology can bring this to 40% or something like this.
The time is up, so we should make
Exactly.
some room for the others. So thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions in particular, you can address them anytime. We wait for your questions outside, inside, whatever you want. So thank you very much.
So much.
Thank you, guys. Thanks.